It was an October day when the heat was finally starting to ease. Since last night, I had lost all energy and felt disgusted with everything, so I just lay on the living room sofa in my apartment. I woke up before noon with a severe headache and nausea, and when I took my temperature, it was over 100 degrees. I was shocked when I stood in front of the sink, thinking about washing my face. My entire face had turned purple and swollen, and there were strange red rashes all over my body. Did I catch a cold or some other disease? I thought. As I lay down on the sofa again, I heard my phone ringing. When I looked at the screen, it was Yoko. Yoko is the girlfriend of my college friend Satoshi. She is currently living with Satoshi in his apartment. I answered, "Hello," but there was no response. Feeling suspicious, I asked her over and over again until I finally heard her low, hoarse voice. "It's just strange," she said. "What?" I didn't quite understand what she meant. Then Yoko's usual voice finally started. "Satoshi has been acting weird since last night. During the meal, he kept repeating the same words over and over and suddenly started saying he was going to die and tried to go to the balcony. I managed to calm him down and put him to sleep, but this morning he started complaining of a headache and nausea. When I took his temperature, it was over 100 degrees. After that..." At this point, Yoko was at a loss for words, so I asked her, "Then what happened?" Then, she started talking again in a low, hoarse voice. Satoshi's face was purple and swollen like a different person, and there were red bumps all over his body. It's the same as me, I thought. Then, a certain memory from a month ago came back to my mind. It was the first week of September, after the long summer vacation. I was on the university campus that day. As I was eating lunch at the long table in the student cafeteria, Satoshi sat in front of me and started talking. November 6th is actually Yoko's birthday. It's my girlfriend's first birthday since we started dating, so I'm thinking of getting excited and giving her something nice, but as you know, I'm so broke, so I'm looking to make money in a short period of time. I was looking for a part-time job. Then, I saw a job posting for this part-time job on a certain information site on the internet. After saying that, Satoshi holds his phone in front of me. At the top of the screen was a dubious title. "This is a job where you can earn $3,000 in just one day of work." The content is written below. To summarize, if you go to a certain place and conduct a clinical trial on a new drug from a major foreign pharmaceutical company, you will receive $3,000 as a reward. I should have told him that it was suspicious. But he continued that it was a new drug made by a famous American pharmaceutical company that everyone knew about, so it should be safe, and that it had already been used by millions of people in the United States for a year. He enthusiastically explained it to me by showing me his phone screen. While I was listening to that, I was convinced, and in the end, he and I decided to do it together. So, he and I submitted the application form online and immediately received a reply email. Then, on Sunday of that week, the two of us were waiting at the station near the university at the designated time when a silver minibus with a pharmaceutical company's logo painted on it arrived. When I got on board, there were already 10 people, young and old, sitting in the seats. A tall American man wearing a white t-shirt standing next to the driver's seat cheerfully introduced himself and explained his plans for the day. Then, a young Japanese woman who appeared to be an assistant handed out eye masks to everyone and told them that they must wear them as their work would be carried out in strict secrecy at the request of the pharmaceutical company. So all the men and women sitting there wore eye masks. We were stuck on the bus for about an hour with our view blocked, and then we were dropped off at a certain spot. There, I was allowed to take off my eye mask for the first time, and it was a spacious area with long desks and chairs neatly arranged, like a university lecture hall. Plastic bottles are placed on the desk at even intervals. Then, just as everyone on the bus had taken their seats, an American man in a white lab coat appeared on the podium at the front of the room. A petite Asian woman, also wearing a white coat, was standing next to her. With a microphone in hand, he reveals in English that he is a chief researcher at an American pharmaceutical company, and then uses a whiteboard behind him to carefully explain the safety of the new drug he will be conducting clinical trials on. The Asian woman next to him provided simultaneous translation in Japanese. After completing the explanation, the man said in broken Japanese, "You are all the first people who will be able to experience this wonderful medicine," with a big smile on his face. Afterwards, a woman in a white coat who appeared to be an assistant began handing out small plastic bags to each person in her room, smiling widely. Just when the plastic bags that had 2 pills had been distributed to everyone, the white man at the podium said again in broken Japanese, "Now, please take the pills that I am giving you, along with my present." So we waited with 2 pills in our palms, and after a while, a man said, "Now!" echoed through the room. Everyone who was sitting on the chairs took 2 pills with water from bottles. The man said, "Excellent," and gave him a thumbs up. He then smiled broadly and clapped along with the woman next to him. After that, everyone put on eye masks again and boarded the minibus under the guidance of the staff, and the bus started moving. Along the way, a female staff member told the ones who took pills. She said, "Starting from today, every day for 2 weeks until the end of September, everybody who took 2 pills will be asked to report on your physical condition for the day after dinner. You can report it later on the special page of the site that you could access from the URL written on the memo you handed over on your way home." Once it was confirmed that all reports had been completed, the reward money of $3,000 would be transferred to the specified account. 2 weeks have passed since then, but there has been no change in my condition. It seems that Satoshi was the same way. At the end of September, exactly $3,000 had been transferred to his account. Satoshi was happy, saying that he could now buy Yoko a birthday present. At that time, I also received the money and everything was going smoothly, but it was about 2 hours after Yoko's call that I laid down on the sofa, unable to bear it anymore, when I heard my phone ringing again. It was another call from Yoko. When I answered her call, I immediately heard her low, slightly subdued voice. She said, "I was preparing to take Satoshi to the hospital earlier when the doorbell suddenly rang. I heard a man's scary voice saying, 'It's an emergency. Open quickly.' I hurried to open it, and suddenly a man in a white coat appeared. Then, a bunch of people came into the room, and at this point, her voice breaks off. So I asked her, 'What's going on?' And then she started talking again. She said, 'Satoshi and I are being forced into a white van and being taken somewhere.' I asked her, 'What is this? Is Satoshi okay?' In response to my question, Yoko starts talking again after a while. 'Satoshi's face and limbs, they are purple and swollen to twice their size, and he is covered in red rashes all over his body. There's a strange yellow fluid coming out of his eyes and ears. He seemed to be in a lot of pain, repeating meaningless words over and over. So just now, when I looked at my face in the mirror, I saw a lot of similar red rashes.' Yoko was saying to someone, 'Hey, where are you taking us? Help me, help me!' I did not know what to do, but after Yoko's words, I noticed my left hand and gasped. My hands are swollen like a baby's. I also saw a strange creature that looked like a giant seal on the black screen of the LCD TV in front of the sofa. I dropped my phone on the floor and collapsed onto the floor, dragging my body until I finally made it to the bathroom. As soon as I stood in front of the full-length mirror, holding onto the sink, a chill ran down my spine. There was a man's face, covered in a red rash and distended to an ugly purple color. What's more, the eyes, nose, and mouth are out of place. I thought I needed to call an ambulance. That's when I stumbled and started walking to get my phone. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. This was followed by the sound of violent banging on the front door. "We are from a special emergency team under the direct control of the government. It's an emergency. Open this place now." Sensing something unusual, I dragged my heavy body until I finally reached the front door, took off the chain, and unlocked the door. As soon as the door was thrown open, 2 people wearing gas masks and white protective clothing quickly barged in. Then, he stood in front of me, who was dumbfounded on his ass in the hallway, and the 2 of them hugged me by the armpits as they walked out the door. Then, while being dragged by the 2 men, I was forced onto a white wagon parked in front of the apartment. During the ride, I heard the car radio. It says, "This is breaking news." The number of victims of a strange disease of unknown cause that has been occurring in some areas since early last night is rapidly increasing across the country, and the number of victims currently known to be seriously ill is approximately 1,130. There were 802 people in serious condition, and 63 people died. The government has established an emergency response headquarters. We are taking immediate countermeasures, but what we know so far is that this is a planned bacterial terrorist attack against Japan by a global terrorist organization based in the United States.